In this video, we'll see about the congestion control in TCP. So TCP uses a congestion window and a congestion policy that can avoid congestion, as well as it can detect the congestion once it has occurred. So what does mean by the congestion window is we have seen already about the flow control. How is flow control being done in the TCP. So the sender's window size will be determined by the receiver. So based on the available buffer space in the receiver side, the window size of the sender will be decided. So there we haven't considered anything about the network. But actually, if a network cannot deliver the data as fast, it can be as it is created by the sender, then the network must tell to the sender to slow down the data. So the network is also a second entity that can determine the size of the sender's window. So as we have seen in flow control, the size of the sender is determined by the available buffer space in the receiver, as well as in addition to that, the network is also a second entity which can determine the size of the sender's window. So here now, hence the sender has now two pieces of information. One is the receiver's advertised window size, as well as a congestion window size. So the actual size of the window can be calculated with the minimum of these two. So it is actual window size is equal to minimum of either the receiver window size or the congestion window size. So now we'll see about the congestion policies. So these are the terminologies that we'll be using. So WND means it is sender window size, CWND congestion window size, SS thresh it is slow start threshold, MSS means maximum segment size, ACK acknowledgement, RTT the round trip time, and RTO is the retransmission timeout. So these are the terminologies that we will be using. And now we'll get into the congestion policy. So TCP has a general policy for handling the congestion, and it is based on three phases. So first phase is the slow start phase, second is the congestion avoidance phase, third is the congestion detection. So in the slow start phase, a sender will start sending the data with a slow rate of transmission, and it increases the rate rapidly in order to reach a particular threshold. So when a threshold is reached, the rate of increase of the transmission will be reduced. So this is in general about the TCP's general policy. Now we'll see about the slow start. So as the name suggests, this algorithm starts slowly but it grows very exponentially. The slow start algorithm is mainly based on the idea that the size of the congestion window will always start with one maximum segment size. So the MSS is going to be 1, and the size of the window increases 1 a maximum segment size each time whenever one acknowledgement arrives. So as the name itself suggests, it will start slowly and it will grow exponentially, and this slow start mechanism will ignore the delayed acknowledgement packets, and it will assume that each segment is acknowledged individually. So here we can see with the help of an example. So here we have a sender and a receiver. So the sender starts with the congestion window which is equivalent to 1 maximum segment size. So this means that the sender can send only one segment. So after the first acknowledgement arrives. So this pink line denotes the acknowledgement. So after the first acknowledgement arrives, the size of the congestion window is now increased by 1. So this congestion window size is increased now to 2. Now 2 or more segments again can be sent. So 2 segments are being sent. two more segments are sent from this side. So when two more acknowledgements arrive to the center, automatically the size of the window will now be increased, and now the C congestion window will become 4. Now for these 4 more segments to be sent to the receiver. So when 4 more segments are sent to this receiver part, again you will receive the acknowledgement, and which means that the congestion window size is now got updated to 8. So now we can, if we look at the size of the congestion window in the terms of the round trip time, we can find that the growth rate is exponential. So starting we had one congestion window, so after one round trip time, so round trip time is from center to receiver and from receiver to center back. So one round trip time, it has after first round trip time, the congestion window has turned to 2. Then after the second round trip time, the congestion window has increased exponentially to 4. And after the third round trip time, the congestion window has increased to 8. So this is the strategy, what they name it as slow start strategy. So this slow start strategy is slower in the case of a delayed acknowledgement. So when we have a delayed acknowledgement, it is a slower one, and we have to remember that each and every for each and every acknowledgement, the congestion window will be increased by only one maximum segment size. So here the growth is exponential in the powers of 2, and this cannot continue for an indefinite time. So this slow start mechanism cannot continue indefinitely. So in that case, there should be some threshold to stop this phase. So the center will keep track of the variable, which we can call which we'll call it as a slow start threshold. It is indicated by as denoted as SS threshold. So here, when the size of the window in bytes, when it reaches this threshold, now the slow start will stop the process, and the next phase of this congestion policy will begin. So altogether, in a slow start algorithm or slow start congestion policy, the size of the congestion window will increase exponentially until it reaches a particular threshold. Now we will see about the congestion avoidance, which we can call it to be as additive increase. So if we start with a slow start algorithm, and if the size of the congestion window increases exponentially, in order to avoid the congestion before it happens, then one must slow down the exponential growth, right? So this TCP will define an algorithm named as congestion avoidance, which can increase the size of the congestion window very addictively, instead of increasing the congestion window exponentially, as we have seen in the slow start. So just rather than making the congestion to happen, it is better to avoid the congestion. So we are going to increase the congestion window additively. So here I can show you the picture. I will show you the picture from which I can demonstrate it. So here, when the size, we have a center and the receiver, and when the size of the congestion window is I. So here you can see that after one round trip time, the congestion window will be increased only by 1. So here, each time for a whole window of segment is acknowledged, the size of the congestion window will be increased only by 1. And here is the example. So for after 2 round trip time, you will have the congestion window to be I plus 2. After 3 round trip time, the congestion window will be I plus 3. So this is how congestion avoidance algorithm works. So here, increasing the size of the congestion window is done addictively until a congestion is detected. And Next one is about the congestion detection. So congestion detection can be done with the multiplicative degrees. So we have seen now if a congestion happen, how does the slow start will help to exponentially increase the congestion window size, and then we have seen how to avoid the congestion about with the help of additive increase in the congestion window. And next we will see about the congestion detection, so which is about the multiplicative degree. So if a congestion occur, the congestion window must be decreased, right? So the only way that the sender can guess that the congestion has occurred is that is a need to retransmit a segment, right? So the sender can guess whether the congestion has happened only by looking into the segment which has got retransmitted. So retransmission is required in order to recover the missing packet which is assumed to have been dropped. And however, as we have seen earlier, the retransmission occurs either in two cases, that is whenever a retransmission timer is out, or when the size of the threshold is dropped, right? So when in only in these two cases retransmission can occur. Okay, so the TCP which is used to perform this congestion control might react in two different cases. So I'll tell you the different cases. So the first case is that when if a time is out, okay, if a timer out occurs, then there is a possibility that a congestion might have occurred. So the segment will probably will be dropped in the network, and there will not be any news about the sent segment. So in that case, the TCP will react strongly. So how does it react strongly is it will set the value of the threshold to half of the current window size, and it reduces the congestion window back to one segment, so that it can start the start again a slow start phase. So this is how TCP handles if a timeout occur. Now the second case is that if the three duplicate acknowledgement is received, then there is a chance that there is a weaker possibility of congestion that might have occurred. So here in this case, what does the TCP do is that it will set the value of the threshold again to half of the current window size, and it will set the congestion window to the value of the threshold. So this will again make the TCP to start with the congestion avoidance phase. Okay, so this is the two reaction that can happen that the TCP does if a timer is out, or if it receives three duplicate acknowledgement message. So if the segment may be dropped, or some segment might have arrived safely ssometimes after three duplicate acknowledgements are received. So in this case, the TCP will have a very weaker reaction to it. So it will set the congestion window to the value of the threshold so that it can start the congestion avoidance phase. So this is how the congestion avoidance congestion detection is done with the help of the TCP.